Hello everyone, Bashar here. So we have a Path of Exile video after a little while. So this is not actually going to be a Path of Exile video. I mean, I will not be playing. I just have it on the background so you guys can feel familiar. What am I going to talk about? I am going to talk about the ban, right? You might have heard about it, right? There is a Discord with, I don't know, 500, 700,000 people in it. Sadly, Discord is banned over here. So, I don't do anything there. All my trades are in game anyway. So in case you don't know, the person that owned that server has been banned, right? And don't take me for a hater, but I am going to say good riddance, very well deserved. And funny thing is, I actually don't even know what he got banned for. But why am I saying this, right? As I said, I'm not a hater. I am a hater maybe, but not in that respect, right? I wasn't envious of the money they were making, whatever it is, and I'm suspecting that they got banned or he got banned because of all the real money transaction he was doing. So I don't for sure know that he was making RMTs, real money transactions. However, they were earning so much. I say they because I actually am talking about the leading group of that Discord. I'm guessing they are getting the ban as well. So they were making so much currency, you just can't do anything with that amount, right? I'm suspecting they were selling it because, why go to so much trouble? So guys, what am I on about? As I said, there is a Discord called Forbidden Throw. I am sure almost everyone knows it, right? And there are tons of services that you can get there, which is a nice place, right? I like it. Don't get me wrong, right? I also don't mind, someone working hard, getting rewarded for it. So what am I up about, right? What am I about? What am I talking about? So the thing that I'm talking about is, I don't want to use strong language, but they weren't nice people, right? So the thing is, let's say you are playing Path of Exile, right? 1 or 2, doesn't really matter. You get your hands on something very nice, right? Mirror level, right? 6 tier 1s, everything on the high end, right? Very valuable. And you want to run a mirror service for it, right? So for example, you want to sell it to me, right? So I'm going to give you the mirror, that you will charge a fee. And, I'm going to, you are going to duplicate it for me. And as I said, in exchange for a fee. And the problem is, of course, when you give the mirror to a person, they can just say thank you and goodbye, right? They can just take the mirror and run. And you can't really do anything about it. I mean, you can complain it about on the forums, you can send screenshots, you can appeal to GGG, but I don't think that will ever bring the mirror back. I'm guessing maybe you could do something to the guy that did this, but you just don't want to do anything to that guy. You just want your mirror back, right? So it can be really frustrating. So what these guys offered was trustworthiness, right? And trustworthy, I use that term loosely because, I don't think they were the nicest people. But, they wouldn't scam you, right? In the official meaning, right? Because they were scammers and, I disliked them very hard. That's why I'm doing this video, right? That's why I'm talking about. Technically, they were not scamming, right? But, practically they were, right? So what am I talking about? The thing is, guys, when you get an item to mirror, so for example, let's take a look at like this, right? This is full perfect. 6 tier 1, everything is max. Let me show you, 109 crit, 52 cast speed, blah, 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 right? So this is very valuable. And, someone has this and, they sell you the mirrored version at a fee. So you bring them a mirror and you would pay something on top. So the problem is that something on top I just mentioned, right? Because these people were creating monopoly and ripping people off very hard, all right? And that's why I said the ban was deserved. As I said, I don't know anything about what they were doing. I don't know why they got banned. However, I do know they deserved the ban because of this. Now, let me get into it. So guys, what would you say a fair price would be for mirroring an item, right? My instincts tell me anywhere ranging from 10% to 20% of a mirror's worth, right? Because, creating this kind of item is really expensive. The base is expensive. Getting the right FX is expensive. Then you would have to divine it many times to achieve arrive at this level. And so I think they vary somewhere between 10 to 12 mirrors to get going, right? And it's perfectly fair for someone to charge for this service, right? Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying they should be charging zero. However, when you get these early on, you are going to dupe them. You are going to mirror them for the entirety of the season, and you will be doing it hundreds and hundreds of times, if not thousands of times. So, anything I mentioned will be already profitable by a lot, right? And that is just a range I'm giving. So for example, if I was asked maybe like 25% of a mirror, I would be a little bit annoyed, but maybe I'd pay for it. But however, guys, so let's rewind back to season 1, right? In season 1, I got a mirror, right? And I thought to myself, in Path of Exile 1, I did get a mirror item back then, right? I guess I will do another flashback for it. So I got a mirror, and I wanted to get a mirrored item, right? Obvious weapon, because that's where most of our damage comes from. So I find this Discord, right? The web page, and I start looking at the mirror fees, and I'm like, what is going on here? So at the time, mirror was like 2,300 divine, 2,500 divine, let's say 2,500 for round numbers, right? And the mirror fees were like 1,500 divine, 1,200 divine, 1,800 divine. The cheapest would be around 1,000 divine, maybe. So guys, 40% of a divine in fees. What the hell is going on there? Why are you charging something that is really comparable of the price of the mirror, right? Because it's literally free. I know that getting your hands on the item is not free. However, the mirroring service, the way that it happens is this, guys. If you haven't ever mirrored item, right? Let's say I have an item that can be mirrored, and guys, in case you didn't know, a mirrored item can't be mirrored, right? So only the original owner of the item is able to make money out of this, right? So I can sell this item. However, I cannot mirror it for a friend of mine. So you go to the guy, you give the mirror, you pay the fee, and the guy gets it, mirrors the item, and gives it back to you. Maybe if you want to feel a little bit safer, you just give the mirror, and then you pay the fee when the guy gives you the mirrored item. However, you are still open to scam in the form of a one mirror, right? Instead of one mirror plus fee, you could do one. And I was like, I'm not paying this ever, right? Because guys, I'm okay with paying a little bit extra, but I'm not okay with getting ripped off, right? So, that item costed you like 10 mirror to make, right? Maybe, right? And it gets worse, right? I'm going to get to that as well. So why are you, getting the cost back in like 20 crafts or something? You are going to do this hundreds and hundreds of times, if not thousands and thousands of times. There is no need for you to profit that much, right? Because as I said, guys, after getting the item, there is no more costs. It's not like, you pay a mirror and a little extra. You just pay the mirror to dupe it, right? And then the guy pays you the fee. And on to flashback again. This is a bit of a story time. To my Path of Exile 1 mirror item, right? So I was playing Legion League, right? There is no need for details, but there was a very nice one-handed sword that I wanted to get my hands on. And it was in the hands of a very nice fellow, right? And we talked a little, random, normal person, right? Not Discord owner, rip-offer, scammer sort of thing. It's a normal person, right? And we talk a little, right? And, he impressed me as trustworthy. And, I just gave him the mirror. And I asked, would 10% of a mirror be okay? And he was the nicest guy. He said, okay, sure. And he just gave me the item. So that is the only item that I have mirrored in my entire Path of Exile career, right? Path of Exile 1 and 2. I just bought it mirrored, right? This is not a mirror service. And I'm fully opposing a mirror service as long as it goes like this, right? This is huge scam, terrible, right? As I said, not scam in the theoretical part of definition, But a huge ripoff, it gets close to a scam. And to make matters worse, guys, so you could maybe say, I mean, the guy paid 10 mirrors for it, 12 mirrors for it, so maybe he can charge a lot, right? However, most of the time, those people, the leading group of that Discord, don't even pay anything, right? Because how does it go? Remember the story I told you at the beginning? You have something very good, you want to mirror it, but you can't because people don't trust you. So what do? You give it to those people, right? So they could mirror it for you at a huge commission from you, right? So I don't know the exact numbers, but knowing what type of people they are, I'm sure they were, very terrible about it, right? They would get like 70, 80% from your item. As I said, I don't know the numbers, so I don't want to, insult anyone or anything, but yeah, knowing their style, it's pretty awful. So imagine you have a very nice item, and thing is, guys, how do I know? So for example, let's say I have this item in the non-mirrored version, right? And I want to mirror it and I can't, so I give it to those guys, which I would never ever, right? I would rather cut off my arm than being a tool in that scheme. Anyway, let's say I'm giving it to them. So how do I know how many times they mirrored it for? At the end of, let's say, a week, they are going to pay me, right? Because it's my item. And they say, we mirrored it 3 times. Here is your 900 divine, whatever it is. How do I know that it has not been mirrored 10 times? I don't. Yeah. So I don't know how that goes. I don't know if they have a method of, doing that. But, the way they act makes me uneasy in my mind, right? So, let's fast forward a little bit, right? Let's fast forward about 9 months to season 4. So guys, in season 4, right, I was chatting with a viewer at some point, and I was talking about their behavior here, right, about how horrible the charges were. And my viewer got curious, and he said, I'm going to take a look on what they charge. And now I jokingly said, they are absolutely terrible. They could be charging 1 mirror now. And I was joking, and it wasn't a joke. They were charging 1 mirror for mirroring an item, right? And when I say it, I go crazy, right? It rages me so hard. Imagine, guys, they have a staff, right? They are going to dupe it for you, and the duping price is 1 mirror. And they get to do this because they are trustworthy, in air quotes, right? And drive anyone and everyone that tries to do this out of business by being trustworthy, in air quotes again. So as I said, let's say I have the same staff myself, right? And I try to mirror it, and people don't come to me, and let's say I charge 20% of a mirror, right? But people don't want to be scammed, because they don't know me, so they go to those guys and get scammed indirectly. So they pay 2 mirrors for the staff, right? It's insane. Thankfully, a few influencers, content creators, etc., do this for free, right? Fabgun does it, for example, off the top of my head, which is very good. I commend them for this. And guys, I have to talk about this person. There is a person that I don't know at all, but there is a person that has declared war on these scumbags, sorry to say. And what he does is, guys, he was a very rich guy. And, this is the story of how I got this item. So he has a shop that is full of mirrored, fully perfect items, already mirrored, right? And what does it sell you for? 1 mirror, 0 fee, 0. No fee whatsoever. Hats off to that person. I want to say this in this video, right? I have the utmost respect for that guy. You are, what the community should strive to be, right? And the thing is, guys, the guy is so modest. There is a tip tab in his shop, right? What's new? There is a tip tab in his shop. And guess what the tip is? So, there are garbage items in there that you could buy in a manner of tipping for him. And the guy is so humble, the tip is 5 divine. And in case you haven't played this season, you could say that's not that low. It's that low because, mirrors are nearly 10,000 divines this season. I mean, let me take a look. I haven't been playing for a while. I have Divine. I want Mirror. Almost 9,000. So imagine, and when I bought this, I bought a ton of those amulets to offer my thanks to that guy. Yeah. So he is, and this comes out of his pocket, right? He has a lot of mirrors. As I said, very rich guy. He has like 10 crossbows, 5 bows, 5 staves, whatever it is, right? Lots and lots of full perfect items that he mirrors and puts it there and sells it to you for 1 mirror, which is literally zero profit, right? Yeah, I don't know what to say, right? Hats off to that guy. And as I said, even the tipping is extremely humble, right? He could have asked for 100 divine, I wouldn't have blinked an eye, right? Immediately buy it. What a classy fellow. Maybe after talking about so much of him, maybe I should have given his name, but I don't really remember his name. But you can easily find it. Just search for mirrored items. The guy is selling them by the dozens, right? You'll find them, and he sells them for a mirror in his shop. So yeah, guys, it's been a bit of a chat. So these people, the owners of that Discord, right, and the owner himself, they were monopolizing this, right? They were trying to drive everyone that had items worth mirroring out of business, and they were kind of forcing them, not directly, but indirectly, they were forcing them to give their mirror-worthy items to them so they could sell them without doing anything. Imagine, they are charging mirrors for items they don't own. So, they clone my item at the cost of a mirror, and God knows what they give me for that, right? Yeah, I would say that is pure scumbag performance. Yeah, I mean, it's really terrible. So guys, don't get me wrong. If I had an item that was worth mirroring, and I was offering a service, so I would maybe do it for free for viewers, but I would also sell it to normal people. But as I said, 10 to 15% of a mirror, right? And I would it would eventually pay off, right? And also doing the community a little bit of a service. But yeah, so these people, I'm guessing they were banned from doing real money transactions, and I think in a fit of rage or whatever it is, I think the guy has shut down the Discord. As I said, I don't know because it's banned here. Yeah, funny. So I don't wish this on him because he was doing RMT, right? I wish this on him, or maybe I don't even wish this for him, but I am happy with the result because very bad karma, right? I mean, charging people for mirrors on items that you don't own and ripping them off, right? And guys, those poor people, right? And I do agree with them. So that's why I never got a mirror service, right? So when you get scammed in your life, you kind of want to avoid that experience, right? So that's why the guy doesn't go to the honest, decent fellow that is charging 0.1 mirrors or 0.15 mirrors for the ring. He goes to a forbidden throw guy that is charging 1 mirror. So because he says instead of getting scammed for a mirror with some chance, they don't know that chance, but there is a chance that they get scammed. I will go to this guy for 2 mirrors and I will just not get scammed. But that cost is too much, because arriving even at a mirror is really hard. And so getting to the mirror should be the hard part of getting mirrored items, right? You should not be grinding an extra 100% of a mirror just to get your hands on the item. And as I said, I was just fully refusing it. And this is brought from that great person. And yeah, so guys, this is my take on it. And I do say good riddance to those people, deserved for ripping so many people off over the years. And yeah, of course, the loss of Forbidden Trove is actually a big loss for the Path of Exile community because, it was useful, right? You would find boosts there, you would find services there, and now it's going to get scattered. I don't know if the Discord came back online. Yeah, as I said, I do not have a clue about that, but there will be something else in its stead, and we'll see how it goes. And feel free to correct me, because I could be misinformed about a lot of stuff, but I do know the guy got banned and they were informally scamming people, right? Practically scamming people, not theoretically. And yeah, that's what I wanted to give my 2 cents on the matter. And I'll see you guys in another video. Bye bye.